Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I thank you guys so much for staying tuned and for following me, for asking me all your questions, for your love and support. It means a lot and it helps me provide you guys with more information as we go. Number two, I feel like I've been suffering from like a seasonally long allergy sinus issue, so if you see me kind of cough or clear my throat, that is probably why. So I'm really sorry about that. But I promised you guys last time that I would make another video about how to become a student in a Canadian college. I know that everyone who wants to study in Canada has different reasons for wanting to do so, and not everyone can afford to go to a university. So a college is a better option, A, because it's shorter in your time frame, so college diplomas can go between a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, etc. Whereas the university program is generally for 4 years. Number two, because the duration is shorter and the tuition's a little bit less, overall you don't pay as much money. I know also that, a lot of people who come to Canada and want to study in Canada are purely doing it so they have another means to enter and live in this beautiful country. So I looked at a couple of colleges, and instead of kind of going down one by one like I did with the universities, I would talk a little bit more candidly about a lot of questions that you guys have been asking me. So a lot of these colleges that I looked up, I looked in British Columbia, I looked in Alberta, I looked in Saskatchewan, I looked in Ontario. They all kind of have a lot of the similar underlying requirements and processes. So you have to apply to each of these colleges through the college itself. And the college application fee varies between $100 to $150. The tuition for each of these colleges varies between $15,000 to $20,000. And I know it still sounds like a lot of money, but again, remember what I said, where the college programs don't last as long, they're not as expensive or demanding in terms of coursework and books. So you are not paying as much money as you would with a university. So if your purpose is just to come to Canada and study here and live here, it's not a bad option. There are a lot of private colleges, so I would make sure that you really research the college or university you want to study in. The universities and colleges, like if you're not sure where you want to study or what program, the two websites that I know are really popular are schoolfinder.com and gradschools.com. The only thing I would say is when you go and you look into these universities or websites or colleges or whatever, make sure you research the college or the university before you apply. Excuse me. If you are looking for help and you're already in a university or college, I know there's a website called ratemyprof.com, or it's Rate My Professor, where you can actually look up a professor, you can look up the courses they teach, how strict they are, their marking criteria, and how the students rate them. So I think it's a really fun way to kind of look at and review your professors. So that was something that I used quite a bit when I was in uni, when I was looking for electives to find like the easiest course. So I was looking for the professor who was like the most chilled out with their marking and had like the easiest coursework. So yeah, so the English proficiency exam that I talked about last time was the TOEFL or the IELTS, and I know there's a lot of questions about them. TOEFL and IELTS are kind of like the two most universally accepted English proficiency exams, and I don't know what they stand for, but depending on the country you're from or whatever, as long as you take one of these two exams, you are good to prove that you understand English in terms of speaking and listening and writing and comprehension, etc., etc. So it has like a whole kind of test, and that helps you get in. Now, if you fail or you don't do really well in your English proficiency exam for whatever reason, I also know that colleges and universities allow you to take a English as a second language course in the first and second year of your studying. And what you have to do is like you have to pass those classes with a certain grade to be able to pursue your actual degree or diploma. I don't know if that adds more time to your overall studying, but that is another kind of way into the system. And I don't know how you get approved for that. I think it's like if your grades are really high and you just almost made the cut and you really want to get in, and maybe like you're in a program like architecture or engineering, maybe they let you do that. When I was in journalism in university, I know there were a lot of kids who had ESL courses also, which was kind of weird because like in first year our prerequisite was actually like English literature and classic stuff and, you know, whatever. So I don't know. Okay, so when you are applying to university or college, so again, we're talking mostly about colleges today, but regardless, you have to prove your bank balance is at mark with whatever the tuition and the living costs are to the institution that you're applying for. So if you're applying to, like, let's say a college and the annual fee is 15 grand a year Canadian, then whatever currency you live in or like you work with, it has to add up to the tuition of, I believe, both the 2 years plus living and, you know, subsidiary costs like books or whatever, I don't know. So you have to have that, and then you also have to take a medical exam to prove that you are healthy, and you have to go through an accredited medical examiner, so like a doctor or whatever that's in the list, and you have to prove that. A question I keep getting asked is like, can I come in as a tourist and then become a student? Can I come in as a visitor and then apply for a job? Okay, you guys need to understand that every government or every sort of country has its own immigration laws. As far as I understand, each visa is very stringent on you only being there because of that visa. So if you're there as a visitor, you cannot go into the country and do business. You cannot apply for jobs. You cannot look for other opportunities for permanent residency. You have to kind of stick to the rules of your visa. What I would really recommend is you guys check out the immigration website for the Canadian government or whatever country you want to go to and look at the rules. I know with visitor visas, immigration is very strict with you not coming in and looking for work. And if you come in on on a visitor visa, and then let's say you apply for a job or you get a job offer, immigration will really frown upon that, and it will make it very difficult for you to get accepted because you kind of broke the law in terms of coming in as a tourist and then looking for work. I'm sure there are loopholes, but I don't know what they are. So you've been warned. Try and follow the system. Again, I think Canada is a beautiful country. I think there's a lot of really good colleges and universities and businesses that you can be a part of. But really follow the system. Do what you can. Really like familiarize yourself with the process of coming here and then do what it takes. Again, I'm trying to help you guys out with as much information as I can, but it's really hard for me to answer individual questions because I'm not an immigration or migration agent or officer or lawyer, etc. This is just purely because I know what it's like to go into another country and want information. So this is just sort of the information that you need about colleges. A lot of colleges and universities also make it possible for you to transition into like permanent residency or get a work permit after you graduate. So check out the program you want to study. So if you want to do like a business management program, like at Humber or Algonquin or something, go onto the college's website and look at the job prospects, and sometimes they can help you get a work permit for I think like a year or 2 years after you graduate so you can continue living in the country. Sometimes you can do an internship while you are studying and you can create a lot more opportunities that way. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm just checking the time. But I wanted to kind of like try and give you guys more information every single time. But at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So Remember, colleges are a little bit cheaper. Check out the program you want to study. You still have to apply first, and then once you get approved, then you can go ahead and apply for a student visa. Once you get the student visa, you have to get the medical exam. You have to prove your funds are there to support you, and then you're good to go. There is always the opportunity to continue living in the country, to study more, to work more, to live here. And I will try and provide you guys with as much of that information as we continue. Keep your questions coming. Remember, there is enough hate in the world. There is enough negativity. Let's try and promote positivity, strength, and happiness. Let me know if there's anything else I can do. Don't forget to share this video, like, subscribe, comment, and hopefully I'm able to help one more person out get a little bit closer to their dreams. Think strong always. Take care. Bye.